So I thought I'd show you today examples of not necessarily first-time buyer, but people that don't realise they can move and don't know what their capabilities are. Help to Buy's shared equity. This means it has to be on a new build property. There's lots of new builds coming up around Northamptonshire. Anyone can buy. It doesn't have to be a first-time buyer. It can be a second-time buyer. So these are designed so that they're trying to get people out of their first-time buyer houses into their next house to open up the market for the first-time buyers in second-hand houses. So the only caveat to that is you cannot own any other property. The government will give you up to 20% deposit to help you purchase your house, which is called an equity loan. Then you have to put in a minimum of 5% deposit, and that can either be from your own funds. Because it's a new build, the builder might gift you some of the deposit. They might pay for your moving costs. They might pay for some of your stamp duty. They're quite good like that. Or you might want to see if a parent, grandparent, rich auntie might gift you some money to help you get your deposit. So in this scenario, a first-time buyer has only got to find 5% deposit of whatever they buy. If you're a second-time homeowner and got a lot of equity, you can still borrow up to 20% equity from the government. The 5% loan is not repayable for 5 years, and then they start paying, or you can look at options to pay it back by coming back to a mortgage broker. So I thought we'd give you an example. We've got two 25-year-olds, no children, no commitments. So commitments can cause a problem. It will just bring the affordability down basically. But we looked at the affordability calculators, and the minimum to get £150,000 mortgage is £34,000 between them. So that's quite a low income between two people living together. But it just goes to show you what's possible. So if one person earns that it could adjust this slightly, but this basically says they can borrow £152,000. Because of their age, we can go for a 40-year term again, capital repayment. Now, if you pick a 40-year term, it's not something you have to stick to. You can change it the next time you remortgage. You can go back to a 25-year mortgage, whatever you can afford. But this just helps people get onto the property ladder. So looking at a new build house, if you could find a house for £200,000, which I don't think is unreasonable around here, you need a 5% deposit, which is £10,000, and the government are going to give you £40,000 on their Help to Buy equity loan, 20%. So your mortgage only needs to be £150,000. The cost, £410 a month, which is a lot less, I assume, than renting a house, which I think this type of house would be about £700-800 a month to rent. Now, in regards to the government scheme, so that's free, that £40,000 for 5 years. There's a percentage they charge you as standard, which will be written into your contract. You can then look at paying it off. If your house has gone up in value, you can look at what your 20% is now worth and pay back the loan that way. Your 5% deposit, as said before, might get paid by the builder or your own savings, so it just gives you an idea of the type of money you need and what it's going to cost. If you've got some money that you earn or want to know what you could afford, feel free to pop in and see us and we'll work on some calculators for you.